Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is a stock chart analysis update video. We're going to take a look at Apache, Caterpillar, Valero, and U.S. Steel. All right, we're going to start off here with Apache. We've looked at this about 2 weeks ago, so that would have been around the 28th, something like that. So right in here, and I think this would have been the last day when I was looking at it. So it'd come down a long way, a big, strong move, intensive. The ADX had gotten all the way up to pretty high. I mean, the ADX reading here, I got to get my hands on my chart or my data window. ADX is at 65, which is, I mean, that's just unbelievable. And you could tell by this type of price action that would generate that type of high trend reading. So the trend is still strong, except that, the real question is, how far are we bouncing back? Now, if we're doing 5 waves down here for this first initial thrust, let's just say, I would look at and say 1 wave, 2 waves, big, strong third wave down. Well, if this is a second wave, it retraced a little bit over 61.8% of this move, okay? So therefore, the fourth wave, this wave here, which would be wave 4, should be shallower. And so when you look at that and do a retracement from here to here, 23.6%, it's basically satisfied a shallow fourth wave retracement. A lot of times it'll go to 38.2, but many times after a really extended wave like this, it'll only go 23.6. So in my book, it's satisfied the minimum in terms of a pullback. Now, so that's why I'm watching this. And so the other thing I started to do is I looked at, let me get rid of the retracement here if I can get my hands on it. There we go. The other thing I was looking at on Apache is these trend lines, fan lines type thing. It's pretty large for a fan, but again, it's still same type of concept playing out here. If we come down and break this one, then to me it's almost like a major top reversal is in. And so there's always the possibility that's going to happen. The other thing I saw on a very small basis is a potential little head and shoulders consolidation, continuation type pattern in here. And the close back below the 10 makes this look a little bit negative. Now, it's close to the Keltner channels, but it's been kind of close to the Keltner channels all the way down and then got way outside it and rode it for such a long time. So I guess right now what I'm saying is I don't see this thing turning. And if anything, there's a good chance it's going to, have another move to the downside. So that's my take on it. No position. Caterpillar, not really sure what Cat's doing. We had this first move down here in late July, August, the bounce, and then it actually kind of peaked and started before the market did. Cat was kind of leading down because the market kind of peaked in here, and Cat was already coming down. And then continue down strong. And so, basically we got a lower low, a lower high, another lower low. We could be turning in here right now. We could possibly be doing a little bit of I guess might be a stretch, a little bit of a head and shoulders type thing. If you draw a line across here, you can make the case it's a shoulder, a head, although this is coming up pretty high. So we look at the indicators, and let's go to the RSI. The RSI is looking a little bit like an M-top with this, right move here that's not going to any high. It's not going any higher. So there's a little bit of divergence that's coming in here. So we'll be watching Cat closely to see if it starts to break down, starts to get some closes below the 10 here and starts to roll back down again. Let's see the volume real quick. Yeah, the volume's been, on this last 3 or 4 days, the volume's dropped off pretty dramatically. Again, all this trading over the last couple of weeks have been pretty much below the 50-day moving average of volume. So watch a Cat to see if it rolls over. Valero looks to me like it's it's pulled back up. I thought this was doing a big head and shoulders top, but then the pullback here, I think, has almost invalidated that. It's pulled way back a little too far, but it's pulled right to the 233-day moving average, and it's done it twice, and it's sold off here yesterday. You know, and you've got this trend line. Where's that trend line from? Trend line's from mid 2012. So it's about a 2.5-year trend line that it's broken. So again, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and so it's trending down. Let me zoom in and take a look at the indicators. We're starting to get a little bit of divergence. Not that much, but there is a potential top in here. I mean, you draw a line across the top of the across the bottoms here on the RSI, and it'll if it breaks that, then it could be starting to break down. And sometimes the RSI, with these trend lines on the RSI, will lead the price action. And not a whole lot. Let me go back to here. DI plus is greater than DI minus, so it's hard to tell. I mean, short term, we're definitely in a short term trend to the upside. You've got the 50 below the 233, 55 below the 233 day. The 21 is rising, but that could change if this thing starts to roll down. So again, right now, after this kind of move, I'm skeptical of jumping in on anything, and if anything, I'd be watching for this to be stalling out. U.S. steel, I think, is got a good chance of breaking down in here. We've got the 21 below the 55. Now, granted, the 55 is above the 233, so long term, you could say it's in a long-term uptrend. Intermediate wise, it looks like it's pulling back. Short-term wise, we're starting to get price action below the 10. And we broke this trend line in here as a pullback. And I do think there's a good chance that what I thought was possibly an impulse wave to the upside is nothing more than a large corrective pattern. And so I'm skeptical is this really a bottom in here? It's really, really hard to tell. So if you call this a bottom, then you're really having to say, okay, then we're having some kind of impulse wave move up, like 1, 2, and this is like a third wave. The only thing is this little pullback here slightly overlapped this one here, and therefore that can't be a fourth wave. So I mean, that's what caused me to somewhat invalidate what's going on. I mean, this was strong with some gaps. This is an exhausting gap because it filled within like 5 days. I mean, where did it close in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for sure, almost 5. Yeah, 5 days it closed after it was formed on that day. 5 more days it closed. So in my book, that's an exhaustion gap. This, helps solidify that this move had ended. And then we got this big pullback. So now the real question is this a pullback and we're moving to the high side, or is this now the direction and this was a retracement back and we're moving down? Right now, because of the moving averages action, the price action in here, I'm going with the fact that it's heading south until shown otherwise. All right, that's the snapshot on U.S. steel. And depending on the price action today, I might have a trade idea on it. We'll have to watch and see. So, all right, so that's the 4 of them. I'll be back tomorrow night with a market update and look at some Chinese stocks and some of the global indices, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, everyone, have a great Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been Joe for Beyond the Chart.